break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with hope. What's up, y'all niggas all fed up? Cause I got a little cheddar and my record's moving out the store. Young fuckers spitting at me, young rappers getting at me. My nigga Big predicted this shit exactly. More money, more...
Don't you just wish the subway could always look this empty when you got on it? I know a lot of us commuters do. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Rant City. Today, we're going to be talking about the TTC, or as I like to call it, Toronto Transit Complaints. Where do I begin? I reside in Toronto. I take the TTC every day to work, like a lot of us Torontonians. I know the pros, I know the cons. But clearly, there is a lot more cons than there are pros. Especially during rush hour. Rush hour is probably the worst time to take the TTC, whether on a bus, a subway, a streetcar. One of my friends said to me one time that if you go inside a crammed subway, a streetcar, or bus, it's almost like you're in a nightclub. But a few minor differences. One, there's no music. Two, unlike a nightclub where most people are intoxicated, everybody's usually sober, except maybe after Leafs, Raptors, and Blue Jays games. That's a whole nother story. And three, while everyone's having a good time in the nightclub, everyone on a transit is miserable, especially during rush hour. Take a look at this picture right here. Take a look at all these people you see crammed on the subway. Take a look at Buddy in the number 45 shirt. Wonder what's going through his mind. He would probably think if he farted right now, he could clear out the whole subway. Lady with the purse. She's probably hoping she doesn't have to move to let somebody off. And Buddy standing on the platform, well, he probably wishes he could just get a jetpack and get on out of there. That's for damn sure. But here's where my rant begins. The thing with the TTC is, it's good to have. Especially for all of us commuters who need to get to certain places, especially during the rush hour hours. So, where do I begin? If there's anything that the TTC is lacking, especially when it comes to the commuters, is consideration. There are too many inconsiderate people who take the TTC. For example, if you're riding on a bus, a streetcar, have you ever heard that intercom that says, "For customer convenience, please move back"? You got a very few people that will actually do that. Majority of the time, the people who hear this little message will just stand in the same spot, look around with a silly look on their face, and do nothing. Yeah, that's really considerate. Take another example. Let's see. Where I can think of so many things. Oh, remove your backpack. Not too many people always do that. Now, I'm not singling myself out here. I've been a culprit of making mistakes like this. Let me tell you a little story. This goes back to my days going to college. I was taking TTC to get to and from school. And this was one of the first times I was doing it. It was rush hour, about 5 p.m. And I'm one of the last few people to get on the train, and I just happened to forget to remove my backpack. This lady behind me, with the harshest tone she could come up with, says, "Step in with your backpack." This comment was followed by a 5-minute stink eye the rest of the subway trip home. And let me tell you something, fellas. You know a woman is mad at you when she gives you a 5-minute stink eye. Since then, I've learned from that mistake. Another common one is when people block the door and other people can't get out to get to get to their stop. That's another one. I've been a culprit of that too. But I've learned from it. But there are still people every single day, especially during rush hour, who don't take their backpacks off, who block the doorways, and make it more complicated than it has to be. Why is that? I don't know. But it's inconsiderate, and it's got to stop. There's too many inconsiderate people on the TTC. And then you also got the ones who just can't keep quiet, or that voice their opinions about these kind of things that people aren't considerate about. A couple of days ago, this one woman comes on the train, elderly lady, and she says, the two people that are just standing on the sides, not really blocking the door, but just on the sides, you shouldn't be blocking the doorway. Great way to make an entrance, complaining about something. She then proceeds to step in the train. I'm standing by a bar, minding my own business. She decides to proceed and shove her hand in my way to grab this bar. You would think she'd say, excuse me. No, no, no. If this one wants something, she just goes for it. Manners or no manners. Back to the backpack scenario. A young girl with a backpack on. This woman decides to say to her, you're young. You should probably take that backpack off. What difference does it make how old someone is? Whether you're young or old, you should take a backpack off regardless. I mean, I don't want to stereotype. If you look at people who have their backpacks on the subway, it is a certain demographic, which I'm not going to say. I'll let people figure that out on their own. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how old you are, you should still take your backpack off and not block the doorway regardless of your age. And also, to those people who have something to comment on the subways, people aren't going to change. This is how it's always going to be. So do us all a favor and keep your comments to yourself. I was raised, if you have nothing good to say, don't say it. But then again, maybe what I'm saying on here is good right now, but that doesn't matter. This is called a rant. And I'm going to rant as much as I want. Now, to close this topic, how can we figure out how to resolve these issues on the TTC? Well, they're always going to stay around. Most people will be considerate, though, and take their backpack off and not block the door, but there's always going to be that select few that don't. So how do you get revenge on those people? Do you confront them? Do you get in a physical altercation? No. It's public transportation, not 4th grade recess. But, if you want to get some sort of redemption, I have a suggestion. Whether it's the night before, or the morning before you go on the train, eat something that's going to give you a lot of flatulence. Whether it's the chips, about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, nachos and beans, or corned beef hash for your early bird special. Down some of that. Then go on the subway, the streetcar, the bus, whatever you take to work. And if there's people being inconsiderate like that to you, muster up the biggest fart you can, and as you're about to leave the TTC, let it all out. You're the one that's departed, and that person is left to wonder who the hell farted. Better than a physical altercation, better than getting in a shouting match with someone like it's 4th grade recess. That is how you make an exit. And that about sums it up. So to all those people out there who refuse to take their backpacks off, who refuse to let people out of the train and block the doorway, who refuse to move to the back after the intercom says so, do us all a favor. Take a different form of TTC. And when I say a different form, I say take the car. You've been listening to Rant City. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for another episode down the road. I'm out. Peace.